You are powerful, you are worthy, and you are deserving of every ounce of love and respect in this world. But here's the truth, it all starts with you. Too many of us go through life searching for validation, seeking approval from others, and depending on external sources to determine our self-worth. But what if I told you that the key to unlocking your fullest potential lies in learning to love yourself more than anyone else? You see, we often look outside ourselves for affirmation, for someone to tell us that we're intelligent. We think that happiness, success, and fulfillment come from being loved by others. But real love, the kind that transforms your life, begins within. If you can't love yourself, how can you expect others to do so? Loving yourself is the most powerful transformative action you can take in life. It's the foundation upon which everything else is built: your success, your happiness, your relationships, and your overall sense of fulfillment. But in a world that constantly pressures us to seek approval, perfection, and external validation, the idea of loving yourself can feel foreign or even uncomfortable. We've been taught to measure our worth based on how others perceive us, how we compare to others, or how much we can accomplish. Yet the truth is that self-love isn't just a nice concept to consider. It's an essential practice that holds the power to change everything. When you love yourself, you begin to understand that your value is not contingent upon anyone else's perception or approval. It's not about being arrogant or selfish, but about recognizing your inherent worth. You are worthy of love and respect simply because you exist. This deep, unwavering love for yourself enables you to be unapologetically authentic. It allows you to embrace who you are, flaws and all, and still feel good about yourself. In fact, the more you love yourself, the more you realize that you do not need to meet anyone else's expectations or standards in order to be enough. So often we go through life seeking validation from the outside world. Whether it's through achievements, relationships, social media likes, or accolades, we find ourselves searching for approval from others, thinking that this will fill a void. But the truth is, these external sources of validation are fleeting. They come and go, and relying on them for your sense of worth can leave you feeling empty. It's only when you cultivate a strong sense of self-love that you realize no one can define your value but you. You stop seeking approval because you know that your value is intrinsic and doesn't depend on external circumstances. Self-love is not just about feeling good about yourself on good days. It's about showing up for yourself on your worst days too. It's about being there for yourself when things aren't going as planned and when you're facing obstacles or setbacks. When you love yourself, you develop resilience. You become your own biggest supporter, the one who can remind you that no failure or mistake can define your worth. This self-compassion and acceptance of yourself in your entirety, your strengths, your weaknesses, your successes, and your failures, gives you the strength to continue moving forward even in the face of adversity. When you love yourself, you stop tolerating mistreatment from others. You stop settling for toxic relationships or circumstances that do not serve your growth. You begin to set boundaries because you understand that you deserve respect and kindness. Self-love teaches you how to advocate for your needs and desires, not out of arrogance, but from a place of self-respect. It allows you to say no to things that do not align with your values and to say yes to what empowers and elevates you. Loving yourself also opens the door to deeper connections with others. Contrary to what many may believe, self-love doesn't isolate you from others. It actually strengthens your relationships. When you love and respect yourself, you attract people who do the same. You stop seeking relationships to complete you and instead form connections based on mutual respect, love, and understanding. You no longer depend on someone else to fill a gap within you. You come to relationships as a whole person ready to offer love and support rather than seeking it out of desperation or need. Self-love fuels your personal growth. When you are kind and compassionate with yourself, you're not harsh or critical when you make mistakes or fall short of your expectations. Instead, you view those moments as opportunities for growth and learning. Self-love allows you to be gentle with yourself during moments of failure, helping you to bounce back faster with more clarity. You don't punish yourself for missteps. Instead, you use them as stepping stones toward becoming a better version of yourself. This mindset is crucial in achieving long-term success because it enables you to embrace challenges as part of the journey, not as obstacles that will deter you. Another significant aspect of loving yourself is the ability to recognize and celebrate your achievements, no matter how small they may seem. Self-love involves acknowledging your progress, giving yourself credit where it's due, and celebrating your victories. It's easy to focus on what's next or what you've yet to accomplish, but self-love teaches you to pause and appreciate how far you've come. This acknowledgement fosters a sense of fulfillment and pride that doesn't rely on external praise. You become your own cheerleader, and this boosts your confidence and motivation to keep pushing forward. Loving yourself also means understanding your needs and making self-care a priority. This isn't just about pampering yourself or indulging in luxury. It's about listening to your body, mind, and soul. It's about recognizing when you need rest, when you need nourishment, when you need to recharge, and when you need to say no to something that drains you. Self-love means understanding that you cannot pour from an empty cup, so taking care of yourself is not an act of selfishness, but one of preservation and strength. By nurturing yourself, you are better equipped to give to others, pursue your goals, and handle the challenges life throws your way. In conclusion, loving yourself is not a luxury, it's a necessity. It's the foundation for everything that comes after it. When you love yourself, you create a life that is rooted in authenticity, resilience, and fulfillment. You stop seeking validation from others, embrace your imperfections, and allow yourself to grow and evolve. You become your own greatest supporter and advocate, setting boundaries that protect your well-being and attract positive, supportive relationships. Loving yourself is the key to unlocking your fullest potential and living a life that is rich with purpose, joy, and success. We live in a world where external validation seems to be the measure of success and worth. From social media likes to compliments from others, we are constantly seeking approval, feedback, and recognition. We've been conditioned to believe that our value is determined by how others perceive us. Yet one of the most powerful shifts you can make in your life is to stop seeking validation from outside sources and begin cultivating your self-worth from within. When you stop relying on the opinions and approval of others, you free yourself from the limitations of their perceptions and open the door to genuine self-empowerment. The truth is, external validation is fleeting and unreliable. The likes, comments, and praise you receive can lift you up in a moment, but what happens when those sources of validation are no longer available or when you don't receive the feedback you hope for? If your sense of worth is based solely on others' opinions, you will find yourself in a constant state of insecurity and uncertainty. The people around you may not always see your value, and that's perfectly okay. Your worth is not dependent on what anyone else thinks about you. When you stop seeking external validation, you take control of your self-image. You start to define yourself on your terms without needing others' approval to feel confident or capable. Imagine how liberating it would be to pursue your dreams, express your opinions, or live your truth without worrying about what others might think. You no longer need permission to be yourself or to chase after what you want. Instead, you begin to recognize that your approval, your belief in your abilities, and your self-acceptance are the only things that matter. When you build your confidence from within, you become less affected by criticism or rejection from others. Their opinions no longer have the power to diminish your sense of self. One of the most significant consequences of seeking external validation is the constant cycle of comparison. We are constantly measuring ourselves against others, evaluating whether we are living up to societal standards or competing for attention and recognition. This is not only exhausting, but it is also unproductive. Comparing yourself to others creates a false narrative that you are either better or worse than someone else. It overlooks your unique qualities, strengths, and contributions. Every individual's path is different, and no one else's journey can define your own. When you stop seeking validation from others, you can begin to focus on what truly matters, your own goals, values, and progress. The constant search for approval often leads to people-pleasing behaviors. Many individuals, especially those who struggle with low self-esteem or fear of rejection, find themselves trying to meet the expectations of others in order to feel accepted. They go out of their way to make others happy, even at the expense of their own needs, desires, or values. This may give short-term satisfaction, but it leads to long-term dissatisfaction because it comes at the cost of authenticity. You are giving away pieces of yourself in exchange for something that doesn't fill the void. Pleasing others can become a trap that keeps you stuck in a cycle of self-sacrifice and resentment. When you stop seeking validation from others, you free yourself from the cycle. You begin to make decisions based on what is right for you, not what will earn approval from others. You learn to say no when necessary, set boundaries that protect your well-being, and prioritize your needs. This shift allows you to embrace your true self without feeling the need to conform to others' expectations. By doing so, you open up space for healthier relationships where mutual respect and understanding are at the forefront rather than seeking approval or validation. When you no longer rely on external validation, you tap into a deeper sense of internal motivation. Rather than looking for praise from others to feel driven or successful, you cultivate a personal sense of purpose and determination. Your motivation becomes intrinsic, meaning it comes from a genuine desire to grow, achieve, and be the best version of yourself, rather than from the desire to impress or gain approval. This type of motivation is far more sustainable because it doesn't depend on external rewards or recognition. You are no longer doing things to please others or meet their expectations. You are doing them because you believe in your own potential and are committed to your own growth. Self-validation also allows you to develop a deeper sense of self-compassion. When you are no longer seeking validation from others, you become your own source of encouragement. Instead of criticizing yourself when you make mistakes or experience setbacks, you show yourself kindness and understanding. Self-compassion is about being gentle with yourself during difficult moments rather than beating yourself up or feeling inadequate. You learn to embrace your imperfections and view challenges as opportunities for growth, not as evidence of your failure. Internal validation helps you become more resilient in the face of adversity. Life is full of challenges, and it's easy to get discouraged when things don't go as planned. But when you've built your sense of worth from within, you are better equipped to handle those challenges with strength and determination. You don't rely on others to reassure you or tell you that you're doing well. Instead, you know that your value is not defined by any setback or obstacle. You are capable of overcoming difficulties on your own. And you trust in your ability to keep moving forward, regardless of external circumstances. In letting go of the need for external validation, you also open the door to a more authentic life. You stop pretending to be someone you're not in order to fit in or gain approval. Instead, you start living in alignment with your true self. You begin to embrace your unique qualities, and you no longer feel the need to conform to societal standards or seek validation for the choices you make. This authenticity allows you to create deeper, more meaningful connections with others based on mutual respect and understanding rather than on the superficial desire for approval. When you stop seeking external validation, you start to see yourself for who you truly are. You accept yourself fully, knowing that your worth doesn't come from anyone else's perspective or praise. You begin to realize that your value is inherent and that you don't need to prove yourself to anyone. You take responsibility for your own happiness, growth, and well-being, and you stop looking outside yourself for confirmation. In doing so, you create a life that is aligned with your true purpose and is no longer governed by the opinions of others. Loving yourself means embracing every part of who you are, including your imperfections. Society often teaches us to focus on perfection, to strive for flawlessness in everything we do. We are bombarded with images and messages that suggest success, beauty, and worth are synonymous with perfection. But the truth is, nobody is perfect, and the pursuit of perfection can be both exhausting and self-destructive. Embracing imperfection is not only liberating, it is also essential for growth and happiness. When we think of self-love, we often imagine a flawless version of ourselves, someone who is always at their best, never makes mistakes, and is immune to failure. But this idealized version of self-love is not only unrealistic, it is also harmful. It fosters a mindset that denies the natural process of growth and development, which is inherently messy and full of mistakes. In truth, our imperfections, our flaws, mistakes, and shortcomings are what make us human. They are the aspects of ourselves that we need to embrace, not hide or reject. When you accept your imperfections, you free yourself from the constant pressure to be perfect. You begin to understand that flaws are not something to be ashamed of, but rather they are a part of your unique journey. Embracing your imperfections means acknowledging that you are a work in progress, and that's perfectly okay. You no longer feel the need to put on a facade or wear a mask to appear flawless to others. Instead, you present yourself authentically, accepting that you are deserving of love, respect, and happiness exactly as you are. Accepting your imperfections fosters self-compassion. When we make mistakes or face setbacks, the instinct for many is to criticize ourselves harshly. We tell ourselves that we're not good enough, that we failed, and that we'll never succeed. But when you love yourself and embrace your imperfections, you replace self-criticism with understanding. You recognize that mistakes are not signs of inadequacy, but opportunities for learning and growth. By treating yourself with kindness and compassion during times of failure, you open the door to resilience and personal growth. You stop viewing yourself as broken or unworthy because of your flaws, and instead see yourself as whole, capable, and deserving of success regardless of setbacks. This shift in mindset is particularly important in a world that often focuses on achieving external markers of success, wealth, status, beauty, and perfection. Society's standards are rigid and unrealistic. They leave little room for error or vulnerability. But when you accept your imperfections, you become less concerned with meeting the standards set by others and more focused on creating a life that is authentic and true to you. You learn to value your individuality, knowing that it's not your imperfections that hold you back, but your refusal to accept them. Embracing your imperfections allows you to cultivate a growth mindset. The belief that you can improve, adapt, and evolve is one of the most powerful mindsets for achieving long-term success. When you accept that you are imperfect, you release the need for immediate results or flawless performances. Instead, you view each mistake, failure, or challenge as an opportunity to learn and improve. This mindset not only frees you from the pressure of perfection, but also helps you develop greater resilience. You no longer see setbacks as signs of personal failure, but rather as necessary steps toward becoming a stronger, more capable person. The road to success is rarely smooth and is filled with bumps and obstacles. But with a mindset that embraces imperfection, you are better equipped to handle those challenges without losing faith in yourself or your ability to succeed. Another crucial aspect of accepting your imperfections is that it allows you to release unrealistic comparisons with others. We often compare ourselves to those around us, measuring our progress, looks, success, or relationships against theirs. This comparison trap can lead to feelings of inadequacy, jealousy, and self-doubt. But when you embrace your imperfections, you let go of the need to compare. You recognize that everyone has their own struggles, flaws, and unique journey. You stop measuring your worth against others and start valuing your personal growth and achievements. By doing so, you reclaim your power and focus on the things that truly matter to you, your goals, your passions, and your happiness, rather than getting lost in the achievements or flaws of others. In relationships, accepting your imperfections also allows you to form deeper, more meaningful connections with others. We often fear that showing our flaws will make others see us as weak or unworthy of love and respect. But when we accept our imperfections, we stop hiding behind masks and start showing up authentically. This vulnerability can be incredibly powerful as it invites others to do the same. Instead of trying to present an image of perfection, you create relationships based on mutual understanding, trust, and authenticity. When you love yourself with all your imperfections, you attract people who appreciate you for who you are, not for who you pretend to be. This leads to more genuine connections and deeper, more fulfilling relationships. Loving yourself and embracing your imperfections also allows you to be more forgiving both toward yourself and others. It's easy to hold grudges against ourselves when we feel we've failed or fallen short of our own expectations. But self-compassion and the acceptance of imperfection make it easier to forgive ourselves. You recognize that everyone makes mistakes and that imperfection is part of the human experience. This forgiveness frees you from the burden of guilt or shame, allowing you to move forward with more peace and confidence. By embracing your imperfections, you also open the door to creativity and self-expression. Perfectionism often stifles creativity, as the fear of making mistakes can prevent us from trying new things or stepping outside our comfort zones. But when you accept your imperfections, you allow yourself the freedom to experiment, fail, and try again. This openness leads to personal growth and creativity because you are no longer afraid of making mistakes. You understand that mistakes are not failures, but part of the process of learning and growing. Whether it's in your career, your hobbies, or your personal life, accepting your imperfections enables you to explore new possibilities without fear of judgment or failure. The act of embracing imperfection is an act of self-acceptance and self-love. It is about recognizing that you are enough, just as you are, with all of your flaws, mistakes, and imperfections. Instead of striving for an unattainable ideal, you choose to love and accept yourself in your entirety, knowing that your imperfections are what make you unique, resilient, and capable of growth. It's this acceptance that enables you to live a more authentic, fulfilling, and empowered life. One of the most transformative aspects of loving yourself is understanding the power of setting boundaries. Boundaries are not just about saying no to others. They are about establishing limits that protect your energy, mental well-being, and personal values. In relationships, work, and various areas of life, people often find themselves giving more than they can handle or compromising their own needs to please others. This happens because we fail to recognize our own worth and allow external pressures or expectations to dictate how we behave. However, when you learn to love yourself, you begin to prioritize your needs, stand firm in your beliefs, and protect your space, all of which contribute to a stronger sense of self-respect. Setting boundaries is an essential component of self-love because it demonstrates that you value yourself enough to protect your well-being. Whether it's setting limits at work, in friendships, or with family, it's important to recognize that saying no is not a sign of weakness, but rather a reflection of your strength and self-respect. People often fear that if they set boundaries, they might hurt others or damage relationships. The truth is, setting healthy boundaries doesn't mean you are being selfish or uncaring. Instead, it shows that you are taking responsibility for your own needs and well-being. You cannot pour from an empty cup. If you not take care of yourself first, you will eventually have nothing left to give to others. By learning to say no when necessary, you preserve your energy for the things that truly matter to you. You stop overcommitting yourself and avoid burning out by taking on more than you can handle. Setting boundaries allows you to create a more balanced and fulfilling life where you can focus on your goals, values, and well-being without being constantly pulled in different directions. It's about being conscious of your time and energy and deciding how you want to invest them. Instead of feeling obligated to say yes to everything, you learn to make choices that align with your priorities. In addition to protecting your energy, boundaries are also crucial for maintaining your mental and emotional health. Many people find themselves in toxic relationships, whether in personal or professional settings, because they fail to establish clear boundaries. They tolerate disrespect, neglect their own needs, or stay in unhealthy situations because they are afraid of conflict or fear rejection. However, when you love yourself, you understand that your mental and emotional well-being is non-negotiable. You do not need to tolerate mistreatment or put up with negativity just to keep the peace. Setting boundaries gives you the power to walk away from situations that no longer serve you, to distance yourself from people who drain your energy, and to protect your mental space. It is important to note that setting boundaries is not about building walls or shutting others out. It is about creating a healthy space where you can thrive. Boundaries are designed to improve your relationships by fostering mutual respect. They communicate to others what is acceptable and what is not, allowing for healthier, more authentic connections. When you set clear boundaries, you teach others how to treat you, and you create a relationship dynamic based on mutual understanding and respect. By valuing yourself enough to establish limits, you encourage others to do the same, leading to more balanced, healthy interactions. In romantic relationships, boundaries are especially important. People often lose themselves in their partners, neglecting their own needs, passions, and goals to please the other person. While relationships require compromise, self-love means not sacrificing your individuality or personal values in the name of love. Setting boundaries in a romantic relationship allows you to maintain your identity, pursue your own interests, and ensure that your needs are met. It also helps to create a sense of equality and respect within the relationship, where both partners are free to be themselves without fear of judgment or criticism. When both individuals have established and respected boundaries, it lays the foundation for a stronger, more supportive partnership. Boundaries are also vital in professional settings. Many people find it difficult to assert themselves at work because they fear appearing uncooperative or disrespectful. However, setting boundaries in the workplace is essential for maintaining a healthy work-life balance, managing stress, and ensuring that your professional responsibilities align with your personal values. This could mean setting limits on the number of hours you are willing to work, not answering emails outside of business hours, or communicating your needs for flexibility or support. When you set boundaries at work, you not only protect your time and energy, but you also demonstrate that you value your personal life and mental health. In the long run, maintaining healthy boundaries in the workplace leads to greater productivity, job satisfaction, and a more sustainable career. The process of setting boundaries often involves learning to be assertive. Being assertive means expressing your needs, desires, and opinions clearly and respectfully. It's about communicating your limits without fear or guilt. Assertiveness is not about being aggressive or domineering. It is about standing firm in your beliefs and protecting your personal space while respecting the needs and rights of others. Many people struggle with assertiveness because they fear confrontation or rejection. When you truly love yourself, you recognize that asserting your needs is an act of self-respect, not selfishness. You have the right to speak up for yourself, express your emotions, and ask for what you need without feeling guilty or apologetic. Learning to set boundaries also requires recognizing that not everyone will like or agree with your boundaries, and that's okay. People may try to push your limits or guilt you into doing things that make you uncomfortable. But when you love yourself, you understand that you are not responsible for how others react to your boundaries. You cannot control their feelings or behaviors, but you can control how you respond. Your boundaries are there to protect your well-being, and anyone who truly cares about you will respect them, even if they don't always understand them. Over time, as you practice setting and maintaining boundaries, you will begin to notice the positive impact it has on your life. You will feel more in control of your time, energy, and emotions. Your relationships will become healthier and more authentic, and you will find that you are better able to pursue your goals and passions without the burden of constantly pleasing others or compromising your values. Setting boundaries is one of the most important acts of self-love you can practice. It is a declaration that you are worthy of respect, time, and space, and that you will no longer tolerate anything less.